There's not many more things more enjoyable than playing the records loud to an enthusiastic audience. Jazzman Records is a company that I set up in order to make available to everyone around the world rare and forgotten music. Black American music is one way of looking at it from the past 50 years, which could encompass anything from R&B from the 50s and the 60s to modern soul from the 70s to funk from the 60s and 70s, the jazz all the way up and all the way through until now, Latin music as well. Basically anything any type of music that's derived, I suppose, if you like, from Black America from the last 50 years or so. A lot of which never really came over to these shores ever, and a lot of which was only available in very small amounts and locally in small towns in the States.
Oh yeah!
It's something that it means a hell of a lot to me. It means everything to me. You know, a lot of this music that we're talking about, you know, is made by guys who may not have had a great deal of luck in their lives. They may not have made too many records, they may not have had too much money, so they weren't able to promote themselves and get a massive mainstream following and make a massive hit out of their music. There may be just a gang of kids that got together to make a record and they could only afford to press a few hundred copies. But that doesn't mean to say that there's no passion, validity and great art in that music. And so for me to go along and speak to them and re-release their music, one, it's an honour to be able to do that, and two, it's brilliant to be able to touch their lives, if you like, you know, because you're doing them a service that they really wanted to have been done years and years ago. Get the world to hear their music and hear the message that they're trying to convey, and I'm in a position where I'm able to do that. Don't get me wrong, we're not selling millions of copies of it, we're not going to change the world doing this, but it's good to be able to do something that makes everyone happy. They're happy, I'm happy, and the people that buy the records are happy, so I'm in the happiness business.
What was the catalyst that made you fall in love with this type of Black American music?
That's really hard to answer, because you know you can't tell what if you love something. You know, you've got no saying in why you fall in love with that thing, do you? All of a sudden, you know, it could just be something that just hits you out of the blue. I remember when I was a teenager, I was listening to rock music most of the time. Out of the blue, John Peel played Alvin Cash, "I Keep On Dancing," which is a funky little 60s tune, and it made my head turn. I was like, what the hell is that?
Now add a whole lot of soul. Come on, guitar player. I want everybody to keep on dancing now.
But I was also listening to a lot of blues and old jazz 78s from the 20s, all kinds of stuff, but it was this particular one that really hit me, and that made me start on this quest, if you like, for the next 25 years. I started doing tapes in Camden and selling for £5, and I think I sold 6 on my first day on a Saturday afternoon on upturned bread baskets with a ghetto blaster, and made £30 when, you know, minus the cost of the tape. I made £25 profit. And I thought, well, this is, you know, instead of going out spending money all that Saturday afternoon, I've actually come back with money. So if I, you know, I'll do it again tomorrow, and it just went like that, and just carried on going. Well, I didn't really expect anything. All I was wanting to do is to try and find more and more records and more tunes that I could listen to, because, you know, you can only listen to so many before you want to get some more. You know, it's an accumulative thing. As things progressed, you know, as you get more and more into something, then you're right in the sense that you start wanting to get closer to the actual music itself, and by doing that you might want to get the original record. You're not happy with the reissue, and then you might want to go to America to actually find those original records, and then you might want to actually, you know, be friends with the guys who actually collect those records in America, and then, you know, you keep on going at this, and eventually you get to speak to the actual artist who made the record, and then if you keep on going, you actually, you know, strike up a relationship with the artist and reissue his record, and so and so on down the line. And that's where I've got to now, where I've actually been able to do that with quite a lot of these old records, and so you get a real bond and affinity to them then, not just by enjoying the music and doing nothing else, but actually putting something back in by reissuing them, and or ideally bringing out previously unissued stuff, which is even better, that has never come out before. The first Texas Funk one was pretty revolutionary at the time. Put so much work into that, going around America and finding all the guys, all 20 or 21 guys that made the records that we put onto that album. And it's difficult to comprehend what it's like, knocking on a door, getting on the phone, racing around this massive state of Texas within a 2-week time period, not getting any sleep and not having any time for anything apart from purely trying to tie up all this stuff. It was the first time anyone had done a proper album like that, where it had the stories and pictures and label scans and proper liner notes of these old funk things. Before, there was thousands of bootlegs, all illegally done, which are pretty pathetic, and we did it all properly, and I was really proud to have done that properly. The reason why I gambled on doing it is because I don't think anyone had done a library album like that before, and I always thought it would be good to be first to do something interesting, and two, because I believed that it would be a really good album because all the tracks on it were good, and that's the kind of stuff people wanted. This is like 98 or 99 or something, and so I realised, that that the music was in such a demand that I could actually do albums and people would buy them. Not in massive quantities, of course, but it wasn't as massive a risk that I thought it was. So yeah, it ended up working, and then now I'm up to album number 45 at the moment. And since then we've done quite a few other albums, as you know, 45. The one that's immediately comes to mind is one we did very recently. This is a jazz musician in France called Jeff Gilson, and the reason why I'm really proud of that one is because I think myself, and probably everyone else who's actually familiar with this guy, realise that he's one of probably the biggest unsung, unrecognised talents of European jazz for the last 50 years. What really pains me is when I see people who I think are pretty talentless or poor performers, yet they're really held in high esteem by the musical mainstream. It makes me look at them and think, what the hell's going on here? What the hell is he doing on TV? Why has he made so many records? He's complete crap. And obviously some people out there don't think that. They think he's great. But when I look at people like Jeff Gilson and see how underappreciated he is, it just kills me, the fact that they haven't got the recognition they deserve. So I'm really chuffed to actually, in the way I see it, make things right and get it out there and make him at least try and get his music and get him the recognition that he should have. So there we are. We're validating a style of music that was already there but wasn't being done properly.